Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Hamzah FreelancingWala and I'm back with another wonderful foreigner interview. So today we have a very wonderful guest whose name is Miss Brenda O'Neill, and she is a dedicated professional known for her people-centered approach and steady professional development. And her journey reflects a strong foundation of experience, adaptability, and continuous learning. Let's chit chat with her a little and let's get to know more about her. So, first of all, hey Miss Brenda, how are you doing today? How's been your
I-
day?
I'm doing great, thanks. It's a beautiful day here. I live in Ontario, Canada, and finally winter is leaving us and spring is in the air. So all's great, thanks.
That's wonderful to know that spring is coming, waiting for a new season, right?
Right.
So, what has your professional journey been so far? Like, how has it been?
I would say that my professional journey has been a dynamic blend of learning and applying what I've learned. Um, I began my career as a nutrition manager. I actually studied both nutrition and business, and by doing that, I actually started to on my leadership journey by starting my first position, and it helped me set the foundational skills that I needed to move forward in my career. So, with this leadership, I just want to say there's a few other areas too that I found has really helped me in my journey. I think it's very important. I set a vision of really where I wanted to go and really what I wanted to do with my life. And also, I'm a great believer in doing and setting up examples of really what you want to do. I really look at strategic planning. I think that's really important to everyone to have a plan, to have your goals set of what you want to do. Communication, I've developed the art of communication because in the business world or in life period, you need to be a strong communicator. And that's both a strong communicator in communicating and also skills in writing. And also, I've learned about delegation, how important to move forward. You really need to learn how to delegate and understand that you can't and you don't have to do it all alone when you're moving forward in your life and in your business. So I would say pretty much I've had actually a grand start to my career, continuing my career, especially since I left the corporate world and started my own business, Women in Action Leadership Series Inc. So that has also given me my purpose.
All right, that's wonderful to know that you left the corporate world to start a self-employed business. That's really wonderful to know. I really love to hear about your journey. So, as you mentioned about communication, so what do you think? What is the importance of communication in today's world, and why?
Well, first of all, without being a strong communicator, you really will not be able to meet your goals. You won't be able to understand what others, whether that's a coach, a mentor, a teacher, it doesn't matter. You won't be able to understand clearly what someone is trying to tell you. To me, communication is also networking. To move ahead in your career, it's very important to meet as many people as you can and not be intimidated by other people because you feel that they are more intelligent than you are. So, communication also helps to build your confidence. When you communicate strongly, you are building your confidence to help you understand really what's going on in your career and really how impactful is communication with confidence.
All right, that's great to hear the importance of communication in today's world from your perspective. So, about networking, what do you think? Why is networking? It plays in a. Why do you think it plays a key role in like making so that people can recognize you, that you have so many networks. So why do you think, why is that needed important for networking in today's world to succeed?
Well, I totally believe that the more people you meet and the more people that you have join your so-called circle of life, those people are going to help you move forward because they'll meet you as an individual and they'll understand really what your purpose is and what you see as your personal purpose. Too often, women, I'm going to say, and I'm sure a percentage of men as well, are intimidated by networking. They're intimidated because they feel, first of all, they won't belong or they won't fit in or they're not smart enough, they're not good enough, whatever. But networking is to me like a chain. The more links, the more people that you meet, get to know you, you get to know them, so that when they are looking for, or friends are looking for a particular, say, individual to help them, they'll know and remember who they met and what that individual is bringing forward. By that, I mean, with my business in Women in Action Leadership Series, I don't only train, but I also coach women. And some of my, should say, all my clients are great clients to me, but some of my women who have really moved forward are women who have come to me through networking and my individual talks. I do free talks at high schools and colleges, universities. And so that is really where a lot of my clients in my business have come from. So I say to everybody, never underestimate networking. Never underestimate the value that what you have to say and who is out there that may just be listening to you at a particular time and realizing that they really get you. They really understand what you're about. So to move forward, I'd say definitely people have to get out of their shells. They have to get out of their comfort zones. They have to put themselves out there. And that's where you're going to find the people that are going to be your greatest support when you move forward.
Yep, that is true. That is true. That you will find the people who would really love to support you when you get out of your comfort zone. That's a really insightful answer from you. Thank you so much. So, since there are some type of people who are really afraid of, like, networking, like they're afraid of getting out of their comfort zone and getting to know more people. So what advice would you like to give them so that they could get out of their comfort zone and be inspired by your words and start networking?
That's a very good question. First of all, I just want to say that there's approximately 70% of women today who actually have not moved out of that constant place in order to move its zone. A big part of that is not moving forward is definitely related to fear, the fear and the imposter syndrome. So I would say to people, set small goals for yourself. Don't think that everything, every goal that you have be this big goal. I find when people start setting smaller goals or little small stones, I say, to move forward, they start to begin to have a certain comfort with who they are and what their achievements can be. So recognize every goal that you've met, regardless how small. And then as you accomplish these, then you'll move on to next goals and bigger goals. And that helps you build your confidence. I'd also say that I use positive affirmations. I have since I was a teenager, going to university. And I find that positive affirmations, even words like, I can do it, those really help everybody move forward. So make a list of affirmations and read those affirmations every day. And before you know it, you've become more and more confident and you believe more and more in yourself and your capability. I also say have those supportive friends, have that network, whether it's family, whether it's teachers at school, whether it's coach, that supportive network of people who get you and people who understand that you need to build your confidence. Also, I say don't think of doing it alone. Often we all need help in certain areas. So if you need help building your confidence, go and get the help that you need. But also know inside that you have that capability and you can move off that couch and you can get out into the world.
All right. So thank you so much for your suggestion. I hope my audience would appreciate it and be inspired from you. So now I'd like to ask you that if you were to look back at the younger Miss Brenda, what are the three words you would say to your younger self and why?
Okay. The three words I would say to myself would be definitely, it'll be like a little phrase, right? Go
Yeah.
after what you want. Go after what you want. Once you set your goals, go after your goals. I think that's really, really important. I'd also say, do not understand that you do not have to do it alone. You're going to find the people who will be part, I say, of your tribe to help you move forward. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for support. Don't be afraid to ask for advice because everybody has been there. I'd say the next thing is believe in yourself because we have to believe that we can move forward in order for us to move. I had a dream when I was younger, and that actually evolved around my father. So I'm going to share this short little story. With
Sure,
my
sure.
going to business, and I remember him always leaving with his attache case, dressed for work, in his attache case, going to work. When I started to get a bit older, 9, 10 years old, I used to put on my mother's high shoes, her high heel shoes, and I'd carry her purse and I would stick papers in the purse. And my mom would say, "What are you doing, Brenda?" And I'd say, "I'm going to work. I'm going to work," just like dad. So it's funny when I think back today how I've ended up now with my own business, but worked in the corporate world where I learned so much to help move forward. So, your little dreams, your little thoughts when you're young, it's amazing how those can blossom into the person that you become.
All right, that's really wonderful to know that at a very young age you were fond of working and you wanted to just work and work and work like your parents. And thankfully, your dream has come true. So, a huge, huge congratulations to you. So, I would like to ask you that from your entire journey that you have been working all along in the corporate world or in your own private business,
Mhm.
so what is that one key lesson you have learned that has like changed yourself in, you can say, thinking, or in any way it has changed you? So, what's that one key important lesson?
I would say that key important in this case would be a word that I will explain. I would say be humble because I found that humility actually has brought me far in my life and my career. Even though I knew that I had the potential uh, to move forward, I never once thought that I don't need help or I don't need support. I can do the best I can do on my own. It's important, I think, for all the listeners to know that when you start successful, even when you're growing into your career, still be humble because we don't know everything. I'm still learning through my coaching, and I learn every day, and I appreciate what I learn every day, and I appreciate all my clients. So that was really important to me. Humility is important. That's not saying that you can't be successful. You can't go after what you want. That's not saying that you can't be, the best coach or the best person. But I think when people, and I've met several people who could have been very successful, but their lives turned out to be all about themselves and what they've accomplished instead of helping other people move forward and recognize who they are.
All right. I really love that answer from you. So thank you so much for giving your clarified answer. So now could you tell us that what skills have been the most important and have come the most handy in your entire career?
Mm, a lot of skills have become important to me. Um, when I first started in nutrition as a nutrition manager, I there first started to learn all about leadership, all about building a team, how important teamwork is, and I also learned about organizing myself and how important it was to be organized with your days. But I think one of the biggest things I learned all through my life is that teamwork is what makes people successful. Teams are so important, especially, it doesn't matter whether you're in the corporate world, you're in a coaching world, it doesn't matter. You're a teacher. I think that's all important. So as I moved on into the corporate world, I would say then I started to develop these strategic thought processes, right? Because as my job became more, I would say it's always been important, but when I become part of a large organization and a corporation, you have to accept and understand the vision of the organization. So, what is their vision? And that vision has to become yours. I learned about change management, that when you're leading people and you're managing people, you have to have the skills to understand and the empathy to understand what people are going through in their lives. Also, I learned a lot about financials, uh, understanding more about financial reports, how they work, how the organization works, strategic decisions. As I went on more and more into my career and my position became higher and higher, of course, when you move up and you're promoted, you do automatically, right? You just get these extra workloads and these extra demands on you as an individual. I also learned how important it is, again, with networking and getting to know different department heads in the business so that I would have these resources to go to when I needed it. And lastly, I'd probably say is the advanced negotiation, because in the corporate world, I had many union accounts. So I had to think differently in a union environment. So those negotiations were always more complex. So there's a lot of key areas to learn, and those are only a few that come to my mind, but there are so many keys to learning and so many opportunities to learn. And I've always been that type of individual with a very open mind. An open mind so that even if I don't totally understand what my boss is saying, I'm going to think about it before I decide I'm not going to buy in. So life is full and business is full of all these surprises. And I hope all the listeners have those opportunities to learn and to listen like I've had in my career.
Inshallah, all of my listeners will be very inspired by your journey and be very inspired by your words. Thank you so much for that really fascinating answer. It's really fascinating to know like your skills that have been a lot handy in your career. So, what do you consider your biggest strength and why?
I think my biggest strength is actually empathy. And I say empathy because there are many challenges when you're out in the work and you're working with many different people. You work with a diverse population. And I've loved the diversity in the company that I worked for. So when you put yourself in someone else's shoes, that's true empathy. It's not like sympathy. Empathy is so entirely different because you're putting yourself in others people's shoes. I had to build my team. I had to understand what really was going on with my team, recognize when they were struggling, recognize when they needed my support, recognize if there was team division happening, which does happen in any business where everyone's not on the same page. So I found that even though I could be a strong leader, and I still am, I could still be empathetic with my associates, my team members. So to me, it's empathy. And interesting enough, over the years, empathy has become the number one value that large organizations are looking for in their leaders. When I first started in the corporate world in a male dominated workplace organization, I was sometimes told that, okay, women aren't strong enough. They can't do the job. We can't make those tough decisions. When actually we can make those tough decisions. And I was able to make those tough decisions. But I was still able to do it with a heart and recognizing when my team needed my support, when my team needed to make additional income, when a team member lost a loved one. That's how I built the strongest team in the organization I was in, was because of empathy.
That's out. I don't. Your quality is so great that I don't have any. I'm speechless that because I'm seeing someone for the first time who is having empathy as one of their most important strengths. So, um, hats off to you on that. And congratulate and a very million congratulations on having empathy. And I hope you keep on growing your empathy as well as sympathy. And I hope your team would appreciate you a lot for your this much of your empathy. So, yep, that was my final question. So let's wrap our interview here. Thank you so much, Miss Brenda O'Neill, for coming up and giving your special time. And I hope you guys enjoyed. She is Miss Brenda O'Neill. She approaches her work with responsibility and attention to detail, and she is making herself a reliable, valuable presence in any environment she becomes a part of. So, thank you so much, Miss Brenda. I really appreciated it. Lastly, I'd like to take your feedback. What did you think about the interview? How are the questions?
I think the interview was really well done. I think I find that your questions really, the questions are true life questions as to really what people, how people feel, how people see themselves, and also how people grow. So I totally enjoyed the interview. I think, as I mentioned, your questions were very good. I love the interaction. I love the opportunity to respond and the opportunity to respond from my heart, right? So thank you to you too. If I can, I'm just going to mention my website. I'm at www.wialseries.com. www.leadershipseries.com. And that is the Women in Action Leadership Series, Inc. And as I mentioned, I do leadership training. I have done leadership training with young women, anywhere from 15 to 60. And also, I do have a leadership training program that I run 3 times a year. And now I'm privileged to do my Empower Her, where I coach all women to help them build their confidence and move forward. So thank you for your time, your questions. And it was an honor
Thank
to
you so much.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an honor to host you as well.
Okay. Was there
Thank
anything else?
Nothing much. That was it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed learning about the answer which you gave from your heart, which you really
Mhm.
meant it. That's just the main point of the interview, which I really enjoyed, and I also enjoyed interacting and getting to know about you a lot. So thank you, Miss Brenda, for your appreciated time once again. Yes, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys with another foreign guest. Till then, stay wired to be inspired. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.